more than a gaming town. We're a town where you can go skiing, boating, fishing.
When you get to dance with these big cutthroats, there's nothing like it.
That's a good fish. That's what we've been waiting for.
The world-class cuisine, the incredible experiences, all the hotel options.
This is the biggest cutthroat I've ever caught. Let's see yours.
This might be mine too.
We continue to say, hey, we're a destination resort for gaming and food. Well, guess what? We're a destination resort for now for fishing, gaming, and food.
I'll tell you what, that's the biggest cutthroat I've ever seen.
I encourage all the fly fishermen to come to Reno. You won't get an experience like this anywhere else.
Phil, another lake, another adventure. What's going on?
Well, we're just outside of Reno, Nevada, on the world-famous Pyramid Lake. This is home to the world's largest cutthroat trout. We're talking trout in excess of 20 pounds. Yeah.
My gosh.
You can carry them like a child.
So what's the techniques that we're going to be using?
Primarily floating lines, indicators, switch rods, and ladders. Something you don't always see on many lakes, but it works here. This is a unique fishery. It's going to be a great few days, and if that doesn't work, we'll just strip some leeches, popcorn beetles, those kind of things, see if we can dredge something massive up.
This is Pyramid Lake. This big fish adventure starts right now on the new Fly Fisher.
Let's go.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. Nice. Oh my goodness, that's the kind of fish they make stickers out of.
The new Fly Fisher is supported by Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Authority, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,
The day before our arrival, the Reno area was blanketed with an unusually heavy layer of snow. As we arrived in Sutcliffe, located on the western shore of Pyramid Lake, we were greeted with bright sunshine and snow-capped scenery, along with cold air and water temperatures.
I've got a stripping rod rigged up, so it's the kind of thing we just do it.
As Mark and I prepared our gear, a sense of anticipation filled the air.
A little hand line action.
Yeah.
We couldn't help but wonder how this recent bout of weather would affect the fish and our fishing experience. The only way to satisfy our curiosity was to cast our lines and see for ourselves. You will find the Pyramid Lodge located in the small town of Sutcliffe. This lodge is a must-visit.
She's got one coming on the way.
Its walls contain historical images, a well-stocked store, complete with flies and gear, and a restaurant. If you wish to use the lodge as a base camp, it also offers comfortable accommodation. It is a great place to grab a warm drink and some food on a cold day, or if the fish aren't cooperating and you need a place to warm up and strategize. Contrary to what many might assume about Pyramid Lake, our first day began with something other than a sitting in a ladder chair. Trevor, our guide, had reports of fish cruising along a rocky shoreline, so we began standing along the shore with our boots barely in the water, fishing chironomid pupa patterns suspended below indicators. It didn't take too long before Mark had set into our first fish of the trip.
Home's here, actually. Home's here at the lake, just behind, well, actually where we met up this morning. Yep, we're on. We're on. There you go. Keep stripping or reeling. Keep that rod bent. Yep, keep reeling it. Yep, just keep reeling. Keep that rod real good bent. Yep. That's gonna be on the ball. Give it a juice, but don't. Yep. Yep. Big lift, tractor. Big lift, tractor. Big lift, tractor. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Good job, buddy.
Look at the blue back on her, too.
We're just starting out, fishing off the rocks. Pyramid isn't always about the ladders they're famous for. We're just using switch setup, 7-weight indicator, flies 5 feet down, big chironomids, waiting for a big summit or a pilot peak to pull them down. Pyramid Lake is a unique fishery. Most of our time is spent fishing from shore, especially here in late winter, early spring. The fish are cruising the shoreline. That's where you need to be. And one of the unique things is the rods we use. Switch rods are ideal for indicators. We can make long casts to reach out to the shelf where the fish are cruising. With the long rod allows good hook set on those long distances. It's a relaxing way to fish, just a big roll cast, and just let her go. And the shorelines behind us, like we have here today, they're kind of steep. And if you're single-handing, you're going to be using a lot of casts, and you're probably going to be banging your flies and your indicator off the rocks. So the switch rod, although it may seem a little foreign for lakes, it's ideally suited for pyramid. And if your local waters have these opportunities, you might want to consider shore fishing with a switch rod on those waters too.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Rock tip up. Yep.
Hey, Grandma.
Keep the fish in the water.
Again, on
On the lift up, huh?
Just keep that good bend in the rod. Yep, strip. Don't even worry about reeling. Yep, rod right. There you go. Rod left. And now rod right again. She's got some juice in her. She's got some juice. Yep, big lifts. Let's keep that rod left. Don't swing back around. Yep, and coming back quick. So strip down 2 more times. Yep, big lift. One. There you go. Let's go. Upgrade, huh? Sweet.
So Cole, this time of the year, we're using a lot of indicator setups. Maybe you can walk me through how you like to set your indicator rigs up, leader construction,
Okay.
Indicator types, swivel placement, fly choices, those kinds of things.
Sounds good. So we're using these indicator setups, which we use probably, 80% of the time out here. And how I like to rig up my setup, I'm gonna run from my fly line, I'm gonna run about 3 feet, 3 or 4 feet from my indicator to my swivel. And I like running 15-pound line, or you can go down to 12. And I like running a line through indicator. These happen to be Jadicators. I really like, so you can peg them with a toothpick. And then off my swivel, I'm gonna go either 10 or 8 pound to my 2 flies. And I'm running my top fly off of a tag end. And flies can vary. I'm either running a balanced leech or a midge on our indicator setups. And I'm running my 2 flies about 3 feet apart. I hate running my flies close together. Minimum distance is gonna be 2 feet. I love, space them out. When your flies are too close together, they're not fishing correctly.
And why do you say that?
Mainly out here, you're catching 80% of your fish on your bottom fly. Okay. I'm mainly using my top fly just for weight, to keep those flies vertical in the water.
Okay. All right. Now, fly choices. Let's talk chironomids. What sizes would you want to bring?
This time of year, we're mainly using 12s and 14s.
And 2Xs and heavy hooks.
Heavy
right?
hooks,
Yeah.
2X hooks for sure.
Favorite colors?
I like the Daiichi 1760s for my hooks. Colors, I love brown beads, black bodies, wine bodies are good ones. Same with copper and black beads.
Any rib choices you like? Copper wire, silver
I
wire?
like brown and copper wire are my favorites.
All right. What about your balanced leeches? What colors you like in those?
White, brown, blacks are my go-tos.
Pretty simple, easy setup. And what's really critical about this setup is from the indicator south down to the flies, it's level. So it sinks straight down vertically in the water.
Yep.
You don't want to use a standard 9 or 12-foot tapered leader because they're built like a fly rod. Thick at one end, skinny at the other. They're going to sink at a different rate along their length. You're not going to get your flies to hang straight down because of that thick leader butt material of the tapered leader. It's going to come off like this, and that's not what you want.
No.
That's great, Cole. Real simple.
Yep. Not too complicated.
Maybe we should go down and see if we can put this to work and build something big.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Nico, tell me about Pyramid Lake.
All right, so Pyramid Lake. Do we have a regulated flow in the lake?
What's up? Mark's hooked up.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, great job, Mark.
Trying to do some work here.
So Pyramid Lake, what you're looking at behind me is the remnants was once the ancient Lahontan Sea. It's just a world away from everything. It's literal, I like to say it's literal time travel coming out here. Even though we're 40 miles and some change from Reno, from a metro city, you come out here and you're miles apart from civilization. And you get to wade and see and smell what you would smell 10,000 years ago and catch the same fish that was here 10,000 years ago, and we love it. And we are on tribal land, so it is part of the Numu people. So this whole lake is surrounded by Paiute land, so we are guests on Paiute Nation's land, and we're excited about that. So Pyramid Lake is home to the world's largest cutthroat trout. And what does that mean, and why are they the world's largest cutthroat trout? First of all, the origins of this fish are guesstimated to be out of the Pacific Ocean about 30,000 years ago. So we're in a period of the Ice Age where we still had a lot of glaciers up north. We had a lot of water running, a lot of melt off, and we had a lot of connecting tributaries that could link this section of Pyramid Lake, then the Lahontan Sea, to such bodies of water such as the Snake River, which connects to the Pacific Ocean. So theory is basically they made their way, they migrated inland, and then as the Ice Age started to recede, into our current epoch, it cut off their waterways. What we're left with is Pyramid Lake. This is one of the last remaining bodies of water that's reminiscent of the ancient Lahontan Sea. It used to be fed by many tributaries, by Snake River, by glacier melt. Now it's only fed by one source, and that one source is the Truckee River.
All right, go for the release.
We've been catching fish that are 15 pounds or so, and they got 5 years on them, 6 years on them, 7 years on them. That's a tremendous growth rate for a trout. So that tells you they're eating a lot and that their propensity to grow so large. It's heaven for a fisherman, especially a fly fisherman, because you know whatever you throw out there, there's a big chance that it's hungry enough to eat it. Even if you're way off in your guesstimation of what they're eating, you still have that high hope, well, that's a hungry fish, one of them's gonna eat it. Our season runs from October 1 to June 30th, and that's a long season. That's longer than any typical trout season. So we really have 3 different attack methods when it comes to chasing these Lahontans over that 9-month period. So while you're at home, like your trout season closes down in October or whatever the regulation states or whatever the weather tells you to do, we're open. And we got the world's biggest cutthroat trout out here. Nothing better to chase and come out here and spend your winter. Don't Jones to go trout fishing, just come here. It's easy to get to. You fly into Reno, 40-minute drive north, and you're here, and you got tons and tons of shoreline to fish, and it's just an absolute blast. So if you need that trout fix, this is the place to go. No other place in the world. Best trout fishery, hands down, for stillwater trout. Just can't beat it.
So Trevor, when you're on the water in a boat, setting indicator depth is a lot easier, but from shore, you never know how deep you're going to be. How do you figure out?
Yeah, shore
deep?
depth finding is way different. They're great. They link to your phone. I think they're called Deepers, or Garmin has a few of them.
But you've got a
But out here is,
system.
yeah, much simpler. I mean, way simpler. If you guys want to see this guy, we've all seen him. We've all maybe done a little boat fishing ourselves. This is a rubber core weight. Really simple, but light enough to cast, which is the main thing, okay? So bottom bug, say we got, let's see here, I'm 6 foot tall. That looks like a 6 foot leader section from bottom bug to my indicator. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pierce that rubber, okay? So now we got a little weight on there, all right? So this weight's heavy enough to where it'll sink our indicator. So if we're 2 feet under, when this weight is on the bottom and our bobber is 2 feet under the water, if we take that weight off now, then we know we're 2 foot off the bottom. We're riding perfect. We're not gonna snag in that scenario. Yes, you can do the casting thing. This is a $2 pack of weights that you get from Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
Anywhere you could find these rubber grommets, that's what you need. We're using a very light setup here, okay? So this bug weighs 0. The weight, on the other hand, weighs a lot. So that being said, we're overloading our rod here now, okay? So you want to be very careful. You want to go very nimbly about this. No power casting or anything like that. I'm going to throw that puppy in there. Big exaggerated cast. Okay, 1 cast. Two casts, plop down. Everything's moving.
So kind of a touch and
Throw
go.
it. It's a very touch and go kind of cast scenario. So now it's sinking. We're on the bottom. I'm gonna allow some slack to go out so it'll go straight. So I know the exact depth. I could see it. It's about 1 foot under. I'm gonna come back, strip all my line back in, my weight, my bugs, everything. I'm gonna take my indicator and raise it until it floats on the surface of the water. When it floats on the surface of the water, I know I'm exactly how deep the water column is. So now once I take that off, it'll be 4 or 5 inches off the bottom, all right? So now if I go from my bobber, okay, and I go down, slide my indicator down a foot and a half, I know I'm right there in the strike zone, about 1.5 foot, 2 foot off the bottom. The swells, the waves itself won't allow you to hook the bottom. You know you're fishing effectively. And all it takes, that's a 20-second ordeal. You take that weight right off the bottom, boom, put that back in your pocket. We have already slid our indicator down where we now think we are at, what, I'd say it's 18, 20 inches off the bottom or so. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna get my line out, get back into my casting zone where I just checked depth, and then I'm gonna start fishing.
So that's a really cool tip. If you're ever fishing from shore, whether you're at Pyramid or your local waters, have that little weight on hand and use it to help set your depth. So it's not a mystery out there, you're not guessing. You know you're exact in your presentation.
It definitely makes that guessing game very smaller. Yeah, more confidence catches fish. Simple as that.
After a great start to our trip, we decided to move to another location. But only after Mark and I had benefited from a hearty calzone lunch. So Rob, you're the owner of Pyramid Fly Company.
Yes, sir.
How long have you owned it?
Since 2016, I originated it then.
Okay, what was your vision for starting up a company here on Pyramid Lake?
Creating a team.
Yeah, because you just don't have guides, you have other staff as well to round everything out that you do.
One big happy family.
It is. You have a great team. They're wonderful to work with.
I want to push more than just fish. I want to provide an experience, an escape for people, especially in this world right now, in this day and age.
Yeah.
Especially because of phones. Everybody's always racing, their mind, and you can't disconnect. Well, that's what the outdoors are for. We're fortunate to do it here, Pyramid Lake, home of the world's largest cutthroat trout.
That's true.
Where our small fish are what, 3 to 5 pounds, right?
Yeah, puppies.
Yeah, definitely.
With lunch complete, Mark and I moved to a gravel beach. It was time to experience Pyramid from the comfort of a ladder chair.
go. There you go, Bill. There's that Bill. Boy, Bill.
Bobber just, I don't think it's that big, but it's a good starter.
Good starter, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe not. Not ready for prime time?
Big lift, big lift, big lift.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Out of way, brother.
Atta bro. Looked like it took that top bug. I think you might even be fishing under him.
Oh, that's good. I got 2 browns on, so.
Hazel area, like Sunrise, right in the city. So I hooked into a 14.5 pound. There he is. Yep.
It's a bit after lunch, and it's been slow. As you can see, everything is slicked right off here, and that's not good for fishing these big cutthroat. They feel protection in the chop, and obviously when it's not super sunny out. So, we've been fishing, you gotta stick at it, and the indicator just dropped a little bit and set the hook, and we've got a good fish on, I think. It looked pretty red. Now, what's interesting here is that these fish travel in packs. So, you'll see somebody along the beach hook one or miss one, and get ready, because there's a chance that pack is coming through, and they're gonna swim by your chironomids, and hopefully this is the beginning of something fun this afternoon. This is a good fish.
He's got some vinegar to her.
Oh, they're so strong. Oh.
Good workout.
Now you notice that I haven't put my line on the reel. I've learned from experience not to worry about your line. Fight 'em mano a fisho. Because when you start messing around and not paying attention to the bend in your rod, that's when you're going to lose these things. Because these are barbless hooks. Oh, sweet.
Let's go.
Is that a Lahontan?
This is a Lahontan cutthroat trout, but this is a Summit strain Lahontan cutthroat trout. You'll notice the darkerness to the body itself. It does have its adipose fin, the white tips in the fins itself, but you can see how rosy that fish looks. This is how these fish will look all year long practically. They will define their red rosy cheeks and their big lateral line. Real red.
That's cool, that's fun.
Super cool fish, great fish.
Many people refer to lakes as still waters. And while the water in the lake certainly doesn't move like a river does, there's certainly movement, there's drift. And it's often caused primarily by wind. So Pyramid is a big body of water. When it gets rolling and that wind gets moving, this water gets moving, creating drift. And trout in lakes love to swim up current into that wind-induced current, get some oxygenation from that. That impacts how we present our line. We can use that current to swing our flies downwind into the fish, but we have to be careful how we do it. We're going to use techniques river and stream anglers use as well, when they're swinging wet flies, for example. We're going to use the benefit of these long rods to make reach casts and mends. The one thing we don't want to have happen is a big C start to form in our line, because we're trying to strike around a curve if our indicator goes down, or we feel a take if we're fishing without indicators. And also, it tends to speed the tip of the line up because it's trying to catch up with that midsection. That increase in speed moves your bugs a little unnaturally, and can also, in really windy conditions, instead of them heading vertically now, they're going to start to pull up like this and get out of the strike zone. So using the wind to your advantage, using the benefits of a long rod to make reach casts and mends, and just let that line swing downstream. And the general rule is, the slower the wind drift, the more perpendicular to your body position, you make the cast. If the wind is strong, just like you would on a river with increased current, you're going to have to make your cast and presentation more downwind or downstream. You always want to keep your rod tip pointed at that indicator, so when it goes down, you're in control, you can set that hook and land that fish.
What time is it now?
Love to have it. There he is, Phil.
I did that for you. You know, I did that for you.
No, go for the cell phone.
So this is the old cell phone trick. So Mark asked me what time it was. So my watch is buried about 6 layers down, so I reached into my pocket to look at my iPhone. Sure enough, that indicator is gone. And I managed to react fast enough.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mark.
No more stripping.
No, sir. Coming to you.
Big lifts. Big lift. Mega lift. Mega lift. Mega lift.
Yoo-hoo!
This is a good fish. Another perfect example of a summit strain fish.
Yeah.
But this could possibly be a wild summit strain fish. It does not have a clipped adipose fin. Boom, beautiful, beautiful fish.
Look at that.
For Sandy, where you're at right there for you? Yeah. Yeah, so don't you get paid to do this, bud? You know how to handle your gear by now?
Oh, look what's on.
There he is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it looks like we've got a summit here. Nice silver fish. But as you can see, it's later in the afternoon. It's almost 4 o'clock. And the wind has picked up just a little bit. There's a little bit of chop on the water. And that's, what now, 3 fish in half an hour.
Exactly. Starting to pick up. Yep. Maybe one more strip. Nope. Fire it up. Yep. Try not to bow the rod. Yep.
Ooh, that one's got some silver to him.
There we go, there we go. So is that nice, quiet tension moment, you know? There we go, there we go. Big lift, big lift, big lift.
Nice stab.
Yep, yep, yep. Perfect, 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 perfect. Early season pilot, nice chrome fish, clipped adipose fin, not really white tips, barely white tip to them. Not really defined. Almost looks like a steelhead.
Almost does, yeah, absolutely.
Just a gorgeous fish. And that's how sometimes they do it, man. They want to go, they want to go. You let them go.
So Mark, end of day one. What do you think of Pyramid? It's not the worst place on the planet to wet a fly.
I'll tell you what, Phil. I was skeptical about this style of stillwater fishing.
Yeah.
I thought it would be boring. It was anything but. Every single cutthroat I caught today was the biggest one I'd ever caught.
Yeah. So tomorrow, they're probably going to get even bigger.
Right. Those are nice fish, but this place is legendary, right?
Yeah, well, we saw some swirls today that were 4 or 5 feet in diameter. So there's some monsters in here. So we'll go get some food, get some rest.
Back to the casino.
Yeah. And then we'll come out here tomorrow and gamble again.
There you go.
In addition to the world-class fly fishing Pyramid Lake and the Truckee River offers, there are many attractions for the visiting angler, or perhaps those who don't fish, to see and do in the greater Reno-Tahoe area. Reno-Tahoe boasts diverse activities, from the thrills of casinos and shows, to the culinary delights of countless dining options, the enriching experiences of museums and brewery tours, the adventure of hiking, and the excitement of AAA baseball, which runs from April through until September. There is so much to see and do that the traveling angler may struggle to squeeze it all in.
Well, Phil, what a difference a day makes. Do you like this wind?
Yeah, I do. Temperature's up, which is nice. It's a little bitter and cold, especially at the end of the day. But this wind's probably going to bring fish in, cover that chop. It's going to bounce our flies around under the indicator.
So this wind will actually push bait fish in, right?
Yeah, push them in. They just come into shore. They feel safer. You know, right now they're at this time of the season, they're close to the shore.
Yes.
They're going to, some of the larger fish, the mature fish, are going to start heading down towards the hatchery to spawn. So they're kind of congregating along these edges and moving down. So this looks very promising.
Another day at Pyramid Lake. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's all right.
Today we were fishing from one of the shallow gradient beaches for which Pyramid Lake is famous for. To reach the ledges Trout cruised along, Mark and I needed to get into the water. You could certainly wade, but the 40-degree water temperature makes fishing out of a ladder chair much more sense, while also providing greater comfort.
So if you're doing any research on Pyramid Lake, one of the things you're going to come across is the use of ladders or ladder chairs. What's that all about? Seems strange, it seems foreign, as we don't use these a lot on my local lakes for sure, because the bottom just won't handle it. But the bottom here is firm, the chairs are stable. But what they really provide is your ability to get out to the edge of the shelves without having to wade up to your waist or your chest in really cold water. Believe me, they may look foreign, but they work extremely well.
Couple minutes in, these waves are fantastic for animating these flies underneath the surface of the water. It really gives them a lot of motion. Whereas yesterday it was dead calm, and we actually had to animate the flies ourselves. So this is perfect weather. 10 minutes in, we got our first fish. These things fight so hard. And the great thing about fishing these fish is every time your bobber goes down, you never know what it's going to be. It could be a stud cutthroat. Imagine a 20-pounder. Oh. Nice. Oh my gosh, what a fish.
Big lift. Yeah. Big lift.
In the net.
Oh, there we go. Good job, man.
Good way to start the day.
So Morgan, one of the unique things about Pyramid, beside these monstrous cutthroat trout, is the use of a ladder chair or a ladder. Why do you use those?
So the ladders help us and they enable us to get to the ledges, the drop-offs, allow us to get up out of the water, get out of that 40-degree water, get up out of the water, get elevated, make casting easier, make us a lot more comfortable. We got chairs with seats. We're bored, the fish aren't biting, we can sit down, take a nap, and then the fish wake us up with the bobber down.
Yeah.
So it's biggest key for those is getting up out of the cold water, getting to that ledge, being able to cast without freezing all day.
Okay. Now, you have sandy beaches here, you have tufa beaches, and you have cobble like we do here.
Yes.
Are there any tricks or tips you can give for setting up the ladder or the ladder chairs on those different surfaces?
Well, as we all know, sandy beach is pretty easy. We could walk out, stab the chair in the sand quite easy. A cobble beach, we got to do a little bit more work. Cobble, we got to move around, we got to kick it around a little bit, enable those feet of those ladders to actually sit in and get stable. If we're not stable, we're not comfortable, we're not able to fish. We help a lot of people out. We have people fishing from all ages, 5 years old to 80. If we're not comfortable sitting in those chairs, it kind of defeats the purpose of fishing. Our main goal is comfort other than catching fish. The seat in the sand makes it really, really easy to be comfortable. The tufa rock, we got to do a little bit more work. The tufa, sometimes we can't put the chairs in because we can't move that tufa rock.
Big.
Sometimes, yes. Tufa is kind of stable. It's kind of ingrained in the rock itself. So we're looking for cobble
to move, or we're looking for clay that we can actually jam the tufa, jam these chairs in there.
Okay, so there you go, ladder chairs and ladders. They make perfect sense here. Give them a try. It's a great way to fish Pyramid Lake.
It just feels so good when that bobber goes down. Now, what's interesting is with the wind in here today, it's not unlike fishing a steelhead stream, right? You're watching that indicator for any unnatural, oh, he came off. Watching that indicator for any unnatural movement, right? If there's anything that looks weird, lift and set the hook. And we're just swinging. We're swinging with the current and letting it come through, and it's so far, it's been fantastic. Now, I just lost that fish. So a good practice is, you gotta ask why. Did it just come unbuttoned, or is there a problem with the bugs? So when you do lose a fish, check to see if your hooks are still straight. Oh, yeah, they're sharp. And make sure that everything's in order. There's no grass on your bugs. And yep, everything looks good. Here's the fly that I'm using. It's a chironomid pattern, black on black with a holographic throat. Barbless hook, tiny little chironomid. It's hard to believe that such big fish, even though we've caught so many, hard to believe that such big fish would eat such a small bug. I'll net them for you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mark. So this, not all takes are a classic
here it comes.
Down bubble trail. This one just sort of seemed to bounce out of sequence with the ripple of the chop. So I set on it. Hook sets are free and take them, and lo and behold, sprung to life, and I have a pyramid cutthroat. Not the biggest cutthroat in the land, but you never know. The next one could be 20 plus pounds. Where do you want it, my friend? Not the biggest. Skunks out of the boat.
Out of the boat.
Yeah. And look at that. I think that's your fly, Trevor.
Isn't it though?
Looks pretty in that mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still holding up?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? So Trevor's taking his glove off. Fish handling is crucial here, no matter the size. Doesn't remove that protective slime. Off he goes. Thank you, my friend.
I think with the visibility of Pyramid Lake, it's really putting Reno on the map of an actual fishing community. We have a great presence within town. You know, Pyramid Fly Co. is someone we've partnered with to kind of expose that to people, to realize, hey, there's right in our backyard, there's humongous trout out here that you can catch, you know, on any day. You know, you have the river that runs through town that has opportunities for fly fishing. You have Lake Tahoe right up the hill, which is another 45 minutes away for another fishing opportunity. So there's a lot of opportunities in the surrounding area that a lot of people probably don't know about, and we'd love to get that exposure out there and on the map to realize, hey, we do have a lot of options in Reno, and we have places to take care of you along the way. We cater to the needs of the traveling angler in a few ways. We have transportation to and from the airport, which makes it very easy. It runs every 15 to 20 minutes, so it's an easy transport from the airport to the row. We'll accommodate any bags, fishing gear, anything that you need, we can accommodate. We can set up transportation if need be. We can get out to the lake if you don't have a rental car, so we can get you to and from the lake if you want to set that up. There's plenty of other things. We have a spa there also, you know, after a long day, being cold at Pyramid, getting beat up by the wind, go get a massage, go sit in the sauna, go sit in the salt room. We have options there, you know, for any kind of needs. We have over 4,000 rooms for people to stay at each one of the properties. We're over 100 food and beverage outlets, so it's very unique. We have a showroom, convention space, outlets, casino floor, everything you need if you want to have a good time. We have plenty of bars there too for all the fish stories you can tell at the bar.
Whether I'm fishing single hand or switch rods, like I am today on Pyramid, the roll cast is your best casting option whenever you're using indicators. Indicator systems feature often long, thin, tangle-prone leaders, indicator on there, a swivel, multiple bead heads. Just not a good thing to overhead cast. So the roll cast is your friend. There's a few things to think about when you're doing the roll cast. Remember, the roll cast is basically just a forward cast. So the line must stay on the water. So you're going to drag that rod back, even with a low, almost parallel to the water, to keep that line on the water. It's the friction of the line on the water that helps load or bend the rod so it'll cast properly for you. You can only cast in the direction the tip of the fly line is pointing. So if your fly line tip is not pointing where you want it to go, you need to reposition that line, that anchor, by manipulating it with the rod tip. Once you're ready to go, you're going to bring the rod up, almost beside your ear, so the reel is like you're answering the phone. You're going to let that D-loop form. Remember, with a short D-loop, you're going to need a little bit more push. With a larger D-loop, less push. And you're going to let that push it forward and let it turn over. The fly line travels in one plane. The rod tip, the travel of your rod and the rod tip must travel parallel. Think of it like train tracks. If you incorporate those techniques and tips into your roll cast, you're going to make a perfect cast every time.
As we broke for lunch, our guides learned that another location just south of us was holding fish. It would be crowded, but the potential rewards would make it worthwhile.
Good fish.
It's a fish. Moved to a new spot, and we seem to have some residents, some people home. Double. Oh, Mark's on. We got a double. Who's gonna get it first?
Double trouble.
That one's looks decent. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. That's what we've been waiting for.
You got a good one, Phil?
Yeah. I don't think he's ready for prime time yet. We're gonna lift that head up for you. Yeah, he's still got his, he ain't quite tired out yet. Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Look at that thing.
It's got a big fish, man.
That's what you come to Pyramid for. Come on, head, get up. Yep, upper arm's starting to burn.
You mean you didn't start working out before you came to Pyramid?
No. Maybe we should have, when we got up this morning,
hit the gym.
At the Silver Legacy, should have gone to the gym.
This is a good fish too, I think.
Yeah. Try it. Whoa. Oh. Oh, jeez. Oh, we got it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Phil, that's huge.
Head up, head up, head up.
Yeah.
There you go, dude.
Woo.
That's no slouch either.
No. I think we'll climb down for a little grip and grin with that one.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that's the biggest cutthroat I've ever seen. All right, Phil, let's take a look at these.
Not a bad location change.
No
huh?
way.
Double
Listen,
header.
I'll tell you what. This is the biggest cutthroat I've ever caught. Let's see yours.
This might be mine too.
I'll tell you what, that's the biggest cutthroat I've ever seen. What a thrill. Pyramid Lake, unbelievable.
Home of the world's largest cutthroat, without a doubt. And there's bigger ones in here than this.
That's crazy. Doubleheader, how fun is that?
That's fun.
All right, let's let him go.
All right, and do it again.
It's amazing how chilly it gets when the sun goes below the mountains, isn't it?
I know, but those cutthroat, they keep you warm.
They totally do. What an unbelievable day two here at Pyramid Fly Co. on Pyramid Lake. It was one for the ages.
It was. That double header, I'll remember that for a long time.
That was super fun. And we still have tomorrow and the next day.
And the next day. So let's go back, get warmed up, get some grub, get some rest, so we're good and strong for tomorrow.
We have an early 5:30 day tomorrow.
We do?
Mark wasn't kidding when our guide said it would be an early start. We were up and on our way well before dawn. We were facing potentially tough conditions, a bright day with light winds. Our best chance to hook a fish might be at first light, or if the wind came up later in the day, to create a chop that diffused light, providing cruising trout with a sense of protection to venture shallow and feed. The spot we would explore is one of the most popular locations on Pyramid Lake, so an early arrival would allow us to pick our spot better.
So Mark, part of the pyramid experience, besides the different locations and the variable weather, are early morning wake-ups, and we took care of that this morning.
We sure did. The alarms went off just before 4 o'clock to get here, to get set up, because the morning bite is fantastic.
Yeah, so let's set up, see if we can make that a reality.
All right, so we've got a different situation today. The wind has died right down, so we've come to a spot that has a lot deeper water. So instead of fishing 6 feet under the indicator, I'm up to 11. Yeah. What about you?
And I'm about 10. So we're gonna try and work that deeper water, because in these calm conditions, fish are a little less reluctant to expose themselves in the shallows, so we gotta go out a little deeper to find them.
All right, man, catch them up.
Let's go.
Using a two-handed rod is a lot of fun, and for those of you who are looking to try it for the first time, or those who are new to it, the guides at Pyramid Fly Co. have given me 4 tips that have really helped me out this week. Number 1 is grip position. You've got a long cork here that you can really put your hand anywhere, but to get the proper pivot point so that the rod loads properly, they suggest that you hold the rod high on the cork, and I like to actually put the edge of my thumb right over the end of the cork so I know where my thumb is on the cork while I cast. Number 2 is the pivot point of the fly line, the loading point. As you can see, the running line turns from yellow to black to the shooting head, which is blue. This section of 3 feet of fly line is where you want to have right in the middle of the tip of your rod. That is designed to load the line properly with the rod to shoot it. Number 3 is to slow down. When you make your big sweep across, you know, you really want to do everything deliberately and slow, like literally this slow. Form your D-loop and then use your pivot to shoot it out. So slow is the key on a two-handed rod for newbies. Number 4, once you're done your cast and you want to restart your second cast or your next cast, again, keeping with the theme of being slow, you want to be able to sweep that line low and slow. The reason why is because you've got 2 chironomids under an indicator. If you do it slow enough, if you sweep slow enough, it'll slowly raise those chironomids up, making it look like they're emerging, and that just could be the trigger to get these big cutthroat to eat. So 4 tips, really simple tips that'll help you be able to get those chironomids out to where those fish are.
That's the ticket on 5-pound gauge. This is once in. We get this.
It's been a slow morning, I'm not gonna lie. We've seen a lot of fish porpoising out here. We've been varying our depths to try to figure out where these fish are. And you know, a couple hours in, finally come tight with one. And yeah, you just gotta put your time in with these cutthroat, and looks like a good one. But it goes to show, you know, on slow days, once the weather changed, as you can see, there's some chop on the water now, which we didn't have all morning. And, you know, that gives that undulation to the fly, which makes it dance underneath the surface of the water. And it's hard to do. It's hard to not to look away and to be preoccupied by the beauty and by Pyramid Lake and all that stuff. But you've got to watch all the time, because you never do know when that bobber is going to drop. It's funny because we were talking about the look away, bobber down phenomenon. I call it a dimension, actually, because as soon as you look away, you know that bobber is going to drop, or you have a sandwich, or you go to the bathroom, or you check the time. So you always have to watch. It's fun being up higher. You can see it all happen, hey? Don't mind me, Phil.
No, I'm just trying to not screw this up.
Thank you. It's funny, you know, you see fish all throughout this little bay, surfacing and porpoising and running around, and you know it's gonna happen at some point. And these fish are not slouches in any way. You stay away from there, dude.
Watch these rocks out in front of us.
There we go. I do not want to lose this fish. I do not want to stand on my fly line. These rocks are brutal. Now, when you're fighting big fish off the reel, it's important to have your fly line underneath your index finger and between your middle finger, because that is effectively your drag at that point. And you can just loosen the pressure off your fingers if that fish wants to run, or conversely, you can feed line through your fingers just like that. You don't necessarily need to put the fish on the reel. I lose a lot of fish by wasting my time getting the line on the reel, because you'd lose that bend in the rod. With barbless hooks, any head shake, when the line's not completely taut, that fish is going to spit the hook. He goes right, you lean left. He goes left, you lean right. Tire him out. And he's starting to come up now. Oh, what a fish, man. Over 10 pounds. I like it. I'm lifting, man. Yeah! Woo!
Way to go, Mark.
Let's get some pictures with this guy.
So when you're fishing indicators, whether it's here on Pyramid Lake or your local waters, there's 3 basic retrieves you can use. The first one is really no retrieve. It's just heave it and leave it. Chuck it out there, let it sit, and just let Mother Nature, the wave action that animates the indicator, that transmits down to your flies, and just makes them move seductively. This is really great technique to use when the fishing is kind of slow. They're not very active, they're not willing to chase, cold weather, pressure changes, lunar phases, things like that that throw stillwater trout off. The other option is a hand twist. So a hand twist is literally pull on the line, open the palm of your hand, catch it with your pinky, and bring it back. Or you could catch it with your ring finger and bring it back, or catch it with your middle finger. And just slowly track those flies back from where they landed and settled and cover all that water back until you have to recast again. The other retrieve option is a slow strip. So literally grab the line like so, give it a long, slow pull. So that indicator creates a wake. It doesn't hop, it just has a nice smooth wake. That's gonna pull the flies up on the pull, and as you pause, they're gonna settle back down. And that rise-fall motion can attract fish to the fly. So this is the time you don't wanna look away, because quite often, after that indicator settles, shoot, she'll shoot right under. So those are your 3 retrieve options. Heave it and leave it and just let Mother Nature fish it for you. The slow hand twist to cover water back to your recast position, or the slow strip that makes your flies rise and then flutter back down. That motion attracts fish over and they take them.
Like that. You shoot that down with your cattails like on the wind. Pull it down, North Side. Pull on.
It's been a tough day. Not gonna lie, again, it's been a tough one, but you gotta keep at it. And as you can see, the wind has changed. Speed, it's actually quite windy, which is great for this fishery. Whoa. I got Larry here to help me. And as soon as I set that hook, that dog was right here. So we're gonna see what we've got here. He's not playing big, not digging down, but with these fish, you never can tell. Oh, there we go. I spoke too soon, didn't I? Larry, you're good. Let them take line when they want to take. Larry, the line. Let them take line when they want to take line, and then when they come back at you, strip, strip, strip. You know, the way he started to fight right away, he came in, I thought he was just a smaller fish, but
he's woken up. Larry's just shaking. So excited.
You know, this last week, the fishery's been really good in the morning. There's a little bit of a lull around lunchtime into the afternoon, and then around 3 o'clock, it picks up again, and it's just after, it's about 3:30 actually in the afternoon, and playing true to the pattern. He's digging down for them.
Worried Larry's gonna go for a big leap.
I can't tell you enough how important it is to stay tight with these fish with these barbless hooks, especially on days where you only get a couple of shots. You want to make sure you knock each one out of the park. Yes. Got him. All right, let's take a look at this guy. How do you like that? So good. Larry likes it. Okay, Larry, we'll let her go.
So Cade, we've been out here this week fishing predominantly floating line, strike indicator setups, but I know and I've heard that stripping flies, and particularly popcorn beetles, is a really popular way to fish here. Maybe you could walk me through how you guys do it, your rods, your line choices, leader setup, favorite flies, and the retrieves.
Yep. So we like to start, we won't fish anything less than an 8 weight all the way up into our 10 weights out here. You know, the fish aren't small and they do hit pretty hard. And same goes for lines, right? We're gonna match those lines to the rods. Your 8 weights, you know, even into the 9 weight seeking lines, if you can find the type 9s, you know, you wanna get it down to the bottom as quick as you possibly can, more time in the water. And then our leader setups as well, you know, we keep it in a total length of about 8 feet. We'll run, you know, we don't go much further than 3 feet from our fly line down to the swivel. Okay. And then we'll keep, you know, a pretty good distance between that point fly, the floating fly, to that bottom one. We'll keep it about, you know, 4 to 5 feet, generally, sometimes even longer. And that's just, you know, to keep those from not colliding midair and stuff like that.
So popcorn beetle colors?
So top 3 favorites for me, the top 1 would be, you know, your white and chartreuse would be a really good pattern. And then, you know, don't be afraid of, you know, black foam and orange foam and all that. But, you know, for the dual color pattern, you know, I do red, black, purple and black. And then your, you know, your classic popcorn beetle would be the white and chartreuse.
Okay. And that's called, you said that's called a tadpole? Because the tadpole is when the popcorn has a tail. Because the fly was originated by Doug Ouellette.
As just the popcorn beetle.
That. Yeah, it's kind of like a gurgler with no tail, isn't
it?
Right,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he found out if you had a tail on it, you might catch more fish.
Right. Not a bad thing to have happen. Exactly. You also mentioned in this time of the year in the spring, you're using brighter colored versions as well.
Exactly, like getting into you know, your oranges or maybe even pinks, rather, you know, white and pink, or, you know, this one's a full orange.
Yeah, more of a tractor color just because they're all fired up?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You'll see it a little better, especially in like mud lines too. We get some mud lines out here. This lake does get windy, so we'll put those darker colors out there and brighter colors.
Okay, and what kind of retrieves are you using?
For retrieves, my top 3 favorite would probably be, you know, that long, you know, pull to a pop. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you can speed it up to a constant pop. We like to call it the pyramid bounce, you know, so you have your rod and you're constantly bouncing that and stripping that in. And then, you know, don't be afraid to mix it up and, you know, slow it down, go fast, you know, back into slow. And then a lot of times too, they're notorious for eating it right at your feet. Okay. So, you know, speeding it up on your retrieve when you're coming into off that ledge, you know, speeding it up to there.
Okay, all right. So typical retrieve, cast it out, let it sink right down to the bottom.
Yep.
Start those varied retrieves and fish it right back to your feet almost before casting again?
Yeah, you want to be able to see, you know, they're white. You want to be able to see those before you're recasting.
Okay, and the take?
The take's like a wall. It's a brick wall. You know, you'll feel it. You won't go, was that a bite? You know, it'll be gone. It'll be taking you out before you know it.
This sounds exciting. Maybe we'll have to go give this a whirl.
Right? Heck yeah.
That's a big fish. Oh yeah, it's a big one. This is a big one. So I've been playing around with depth here, anywhere from 9 to 12 feet. And I seem to have hit the sweet spot at 11. Because the last couple of drifts through, I lost one fish, and it's just been fish after fish, and this is the biggest fish of the day, maybe the big fish of the trip for me. And she is the boss. Larry hasn't got excited yet because she hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it. Oh yeah, that's a good one. You think that'll go over 10?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. My arm is burning. I'm not complaining, Phil. Still not ready, man. Oh, don't do that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh my gosh, it's in the net. Woo! Look at the size of that.
You better get down there and give that a hug.
I think so, yeah. Oh my heavens.
Is that your biggest cutthroat?
All right, wait till you get a look at that. What a thrill. What an absolute thrill.
So Mark,
yes.
Years ago, my wife and I took my kids to Disneyland. And when it was time to go, they were not very happy. I know exactly how they feel. This has been incredible.
It's been unbelievable. Where can you go and legitimately catch the biggest cutthroat of your life every day? They just kept getting bigger and bigger
So
and
you
bigger.
said, this is the biggest cutthroat of my life. Next day, this is the biggest cutthroat of my life.
It was a thrill.
It was incredible. We want to thank Rob and his team. They did a fantastic job, from helping us out to the lunches, to pointing us where to go. Everything was unbelievable. We hope you enjoyed today's show, learned a little bit more about fishing from shore and fishing in this magnificent place with these giant cutthroat trout, skills and tactics you can use on your local waters too. For more information on this episode and others in our series, please visit us on the web at thenewflyfisher.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll see you next time.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Reno Sparks Convention and Visitors Authority, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,